What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 18 of season 1 of Dragon Ball. My reaction is under my YouTube memberships. If you are new here and you do not know what that is, I suggest you go over there and check that out. I've got 2 levels of memberships over there. Level 1 is for $2.99 and you get priority replies from me, special polls and live streams. And level 2 is for $4.99 and you get everything that level 1 has, plus you get all of my reactions to all of the shows I watch, all the movies I watch, and all of my uncut Try Not to Laughs. So go over there and check that out. Now, in this episode, we are still seeing Krillin and Goku go through this ridiculous training that Master Roshi is putting them through in order for them to get to this tournament. And last episode, we saw that he started them off by delivering these carts of milk by foot, and typically they're delivered by helicopter. So you could just imagine how ridiculous this was, right? So he put them through all this stuff, and it was only morning time. Then he had a mid-morning training for them. So that's what we saw in this episode. So he put them through everything from... Now, we also saw a few... He was talking about all these different warriors that are going to be competing in this tournament. And we saw a whole bunch of different guys doing different trainings and things like that. One of them was doing push-ups with one hand, and he was already reaching like the 200s. There was another guy that was chopping down trees. Another one who was in a group of what looked like karate. I don't know what it is. But so Master Roshi, we started off by him being in this mid-morning training. So eventually they did get their breakfast, because in the last episode they weren't going to be able to eat unless they completed this morning training. So they completed it and they were able to have their breakfast. But in the midst of their breakfast, what is her name? I forgot. The girl that's with them right now, that every time she sneezes, she turns into this chick who just completely goes off with her gun. Well, she sneezed, and they had to go and have breakfast somewhere else. So in this training, he put them through pushing these big rocks. He had them going through, of course, a lot of running, a lot of dodging, a lot of pushing, a lot of exercise. So at one point, he had them doing some agricultural work, and Goku didn't know what that was. And he was like, what is agricultural? He was like, that's just a big word for playing with dirt. And that was kind of funny to me. I was like, that's actually really funny, because that's the best way to describe it. It's a big word for playing in dirt. So they couldn't use any tools, though. They had to use their hands. So they literally had to go through all of this dirt and I guess get it ready for planting or whatever it is that the big guys were doing anyway. So after that, they were able to have lunch, and then they were training through, I think he had them jump in this lake where he knew there was a shark in there. So they were swimming like really, really fast. And Master Roshi was just kind of like, yeah, that's the motivation. You know, it's just like, yo, like, I see what Master Roshi is doing, but it's all these like ridiculous things that they had to do. Then at one point they did take their naps, they rested, then they got back up to train again. And once again, I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but when they got ready to go into this lake, they were like completely naked. And I was just like, we really just sitting here seeing all their little businesses? Like, seriously? Like, I just can't believe that. I guess this is something I'm going to have to get used to. I'm not used to it yet, but I guess I'm going to have to get used to it. So anyway, so then he ended up putting them through another part of the training where he tied them up to these trees and they had to learn how to dodge, and they were dodging bees. Like, so he went over there and he knocked off like a beehive, and they had to sit there and run around and try to dodge these bees. The big rocks, they had to try to push the rock, and at one point Goku actually pushed it, and they were both like, what? Like, no way. So Master Roshi was like, oh no, like, I picked the wrong rock. And then he went to go look for the bigger one, I guess to kind of stall their training, because I guess that must have been a little too easy for Goku. So when they were doing the agricultural work, it was funny because this time they went back to do the agricultural work, but they were able to use some tools, but they couldn't use any electrical tools, any power tools. So they were able to use the shovel. They had to use a wagon to push around the dirt, and they were moving faster than the guys with the trucks and the power tools. And all of them were just like, yo, like, this is crazy. And they were really like going at it. Like Krillin and Goku was really determined to finish this training so they can have their lunch, so they can really prepare for this tournament. And so after the whole beehive thing, they were all swollen with all these like bumps all over them. I think one bee even got to Master Roshi. So Krillin was just like, please tell me that this isn't going to be like this every day. And Master Roshi was just like, of course not. It's going to be harder. Not only that, but you have to wear the 50-pound shells on your back to do it. The turtle shells. And I was just like, oh, this is just absolutely ridiculous. That was only their morning. Between these two episodes, this was only their morning and lunch trainings. I don't even know what he's going to have them do for the afternoon and the evening. This is going to be absolutely crazy. I just can't wait to finally see them finish their training to get into this this tournament. I can't wait to see the different skills that they come up with. And I can almost kind of see how their training is going to help them, because I see what Master Roshi is doing. Dodging when if they're fighting, they have to dodge swings and punches and things like that and hits. Swimming is with their speed. Being able to pick them up if they're heavy, which is probably why he had them pushing these rocks and using his hands for this agricultural work. So I see what he's doing, but whether they apply it the right way or not, we don't know. But I think Goku is more, they both seem to be very determined, but Goku just seems to be so like, okay, sure, I can do it, and Krillin is just like, oh, like he's more of like, he has to dig a little deeper to get the strength. Goku is kind of just like, he's so determined, you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens in the next episode. But anyway, this was pretty fun to watch. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review for this episode and what you guys think of episode 18, season 1 of Dragon Ball. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!